in the beautiful Aldrich House. This room is a little offset of the main parlor where we're having our concert today. And James Richmond has gone to the ends of the earth to bring Taya Tadasevich here to play a concert of J.S. Bach and Sons. So Taya, tell us about the concert a little bit.
First, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor for me to be sharing beautiful music with you here in Dallas, Texas. And our program will take us today through different eras and different styles of composing. And what's fascinating that we will stay within one family but experience very different ways of thinking about music, very different ways of composing and transmitting the idea through the music to the audience. So the very first piece is the eternal, legendary B minor sonata by Father Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. That's kind of an old-timer. And we will open our concert with that. And after that we will go to Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, I think the most rebellious son of all, who I find personally very fascinating because his style is just, it's just like a crazy person talking to himself. He really can't decide this key or that key, and it's great fun. It is the G major sonata that we will be performing today. After that we will move on time to Wilhelm Friedemann Bach. I would say less known composer from all the sons from Johann Sebastian, but nevertheless not less talented. The piece we will be playing is quite interesting because originally it was a sonata for harpsichord, just solo, but later on, I think just recently, someone found a manuscript of the same piece arranged for flute and harpsichord, and that's the one we will be playing today. E minor sonata. And finally, to end this beautiful evening, we will perform an opera that is written, in fact, just for flute and the harpsichord, with some recitativo. So you will hear the whole drama of someone, I feel like someone who is terribly in love, but he can't really tell, but maybe he is, but he has to do something with that. So it's another whole theater stage told in just music. Well, just. Yeah, this is a D minor sonata by Johann Christoph Friedrich Bach, who had actually a very close relationship to Carl Philipp Emanuel, and there are some letters that we can that survived all of this time, and what they wrote about was how can music express words without using the words. And I think this is our last piece, the D minor sonata, is the best example for how you don't really need to be singing the words. You can just play the instrument and everyone will know what it is about.
Well, that is incredible. And tell us a little bit about where you've come from. How did you land here?
Well, that's a little bit of a miracle that I land here, because I come from very far away. In fact, I'm originally from Siberia. It's the very middle of Russia. My hometown is Krasnoyarsk. That's where I started playing the flute, and I was honored to have a very, very nice teacher who always helped me to love music more and more with each day. And the music took me, I would say, through the entire world. I went to St. Petersburg to study modern flute, and there someone told me of this great professor in Germany who became my, in fact, professor for my undergrad. It wasn't that easy in my real life. I'm just summing it up.
Right.
Yeah, it was a journey that I did myself without anyone's help. I just learned German, I learned English. Yeah, on the way somewhere I learned some Italian too. So yeah, and after, well, right in Germany, in Karlsruhe, I was studying with Renate Greis-Amin and Matthias Allin, and that was, I think, the shaping of me as a musician and a very transformative period of my life. I just turned 18, so I was so young and I felt like a sponge taking in everything they taught me, and that was a great honor to study with them. And that's where I was introduced to Baroque flutes. I have to admit, I didn't know they existed before. Yeah, and then I decided to take that path with historical instruments. So I studied in Freiburg with Karl Kaiser, and after that I moved to the States, which was already 5 years ago. Yeah, and in the States I studied at University of Michigan and lived a little bit in Wisconsin, and then I moved to New York, and finally I just graduated from the Juilliard School.